Welcome to Fitness for Longevity. Andrew checking in with you. Just making a quick video based on just particular specific things that's worked for me during my weight loss journey. So, well, for me personally, it's probably been about 50 pounds now. And it hasn't been really, a lot of people love to brag about the weight loss in the short period of time that they lost it, but that was never a goal of mine. I was never really ever in a situation to rush my weight loss because my overall objective was to avoid being back in the situation I was in before. So what I needed to do was to learn a better lifestyle overall and make it something that that I could actually live long term, which is also the reason why I came to name my business Fitness for Longevity. And that's the overall objective. A lot of people come to me as a trainer and say, hey, I'm looking to lose this weight because I got some particular occasion coming up. And it's like, no, like I want to help you, but I don't want to see you have to come back here 3-4 months from now because the occasion has happened and you've went away from what got you to lose the weight in the first place. So I just had a list of things here that I just wanted to point out, just particular things that are really dear to me because they're definitely things that I've learned to make a lifestyle. It's repeated, it's repetitive, it's every single day, and like I'm always saying to my wife all the time, my nutrition is far from perfect, but I have more consistency than I do have off days or cheat days, you know what I mean? So consistency is key. You want to keep up with decent nutrition as much as you possibly can. You know what I mean? That's the overall objective. Especially in the beginning period where you're really trying to drop the weight, and you still have the excess body fat. You're gonna really have to dial in for as long as you possibly can to get most of that fat off your body. Once you lose the fat, your metabolism is increased, and you're burning fat at a good pace, normally, then you'll be able to, open up the additional calories. And plus you've lost a lot of weight. So obviously you can have more calories, but obviously you're trying to avoid weight gain. But listen, when you lost 50 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, that's water weight, you know what I mean? For the most, you figured out how to get that off of you, right? So let me go through my things here. Really quick, man, no particular order. They're just all things. I want to touch on first eating wholesome food. You got to cut out all that processed stuff, man. And like I said, at the first initial part of the process, until you really become accustomed to eating a certain way with consistency, you definitely want to make sure as much of your intake is as wholesome as possible. Okay, no fast foods. Nothing out the fridge, nothing out the box. It should be as wholesome as possible, meaning in its most natural state, right? So these are foods, your protein, your vegetables, your nuts, your fruits. That's mostly what you want to use, So a lot of the nuts, and if you're doing carbs, they need to be, healthy carbs. You know what I mean? You don't want to be doing all that processed stuff. You have to have carbs in your body. A lot of people tend to turn carbs into the enemy, which is not true. You have complex carbs and you have simple carbs. And I'll go over more in details, what the difference is, But, your rice, your bread, certain things you're going to definitely have to, cut back on because it's all about how the digestive system processes the food, which is to my next thing. You want to keep a digestive system that's fluent. You want to keep your digestive system working at all times, and once it goes in, it pretty much goes out as soon as possible. That's definitely what's going to aid you in regards to weight loss. Because certain foods clearly, and obviously your genetics play a big role in how your body's going to break down the food. But you want to try to avoid certain foods because it's definitely going to be broken down at a different pace. All right, so you don't want to do that. So fiber is key, man. Like I mentioned, those fruits, you know what I mean? You want to keep your fruits in. I try to do about 2 to 3 servings of fruits every day. Sometimes in the morning the only carbs I use is fruits to fuel my body because that's really all I need. You get your sugar from the fruits and it processes a whole different way through the system. So you've got to increase your fiber intake, all right? No, I know some people just do. They'll take fiber in the form of different ways. You could do it peel and all kinds of other ways. But whatever works for me. Me personally, again, it's all about keeping wholesome. For me, there's no additives. People come to me all the time and want to know, hey, what product you using for this and use for that. I don't use no damn products. You know what I mean? I'm not bragging about it. It's just a conscious decision that I made for myself, and that's just what works for me. I didn't need anything. I call it additives. I had no reason for it. So I just try to pay attention to details. So you want to do, and then my next one was do away the empty calories, which is the same thing I spoke about earlier. Don't be putting anything in your system that has no nutritional benefits. Just eating empty calories, a bunch of bag of chips. If you want to replace chips, if you're the type of person that like to sit and pick, do grapes. I do grapes because the grapes allow me to pick, and it's almost, sometimes it's habits. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're sitting, watching movies or whatever it is. Do popcorn. Popcorn is much better than chips. So you want to watch the empty calories. Portion control. Sometimes you get in a situation where you're eating at a restaurant and your portion is huge because there's no food preparation. So it's important that you watch how much of it that you're going to eat. Maybe you should get that doggy bag at the beginning. Get the doggy bag and just put aside a portion that you don't want, and keep the other and eat it. You know what I mean? But you want to watch overeating. Because that's another thing that's going to also slow down your digestive system, and that's what you're trying to avoid. You know what I mean? So yeah, be careful with overeating. So water, man, we all know that, man. A lot of this stuff we all know. You know what I mean? That's what's crazy about it. We all know these things, but it's about application. You know what I mean? We all can know it, but unless you actually apply it to life, it really doesn't count. It's useless. Truth of the matter. So you definitely want to increase your water intake, because that's another thing that's going to keep your digestive system, or not your digestive system, but the healthy metabolism. All of these things is to keep a healthy metabolism. Once you get that metabolism up and running and revving and doing what it's supposed to do, you want to maintain the metabolism, because that's what's going to continuously help you with the weight loss, right? Sometimes you'll plateau as you start losing the weight. You got to mix up your training. You cannot do the same thing over and over. Some people, I know some people I follow on YouTube tend to think that just, high volume training and nutrition, good nutrition, but man, I know for me personally, again, my nutrition is far from perfect. I'm just being honest with you. But it's consistent, for the most, but I have a lot of days that I eat things, or particular meals that consist of things that I probably shouldn't be eating, but I figure it out. I kind of know how to kind of rig the system to a certain point. Again, I'm not bragging about it, but I'm just being honest. But again, you want to be as disciplined as much as you can to begin with. At the early part of the process, discipline is key. All right. So you definitely want to mix it up. A little strength training, that HIIT training. You watch a lot of my videos. I do a lot of ball slams. That helps a whole lot for me personally, man. Ball slams is everything, because I'm able to do put as much as I can into it. It's all about intensity. So if you're going to the gym and you just kind of half-ass and you're not burning as much calories as you can, so clearly you're not getting as much results as you could possibly get. So intensity is key. It's kind of how much you put in. It's kind of a situation where this is what you're going to get back out. All right. So definitely try to mix up the training as much as you can. All right. Another one I got on the list here. How much I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, a couple of them is kind of repetitive. They relate to each other. But train based on your goals. What are you trying to get accomplished in the gym? I hate to see people in the gym bodybuilding. You're bodybuilding and you need to lose 100 pounds. Like, what are you doing? You're wasting time. There's not enough output. You know what I mean? Unless your nutrition is perfect, there's not enough output. You know what I mean? So I say to people all the time, nutrition is where weight loss starts at, but the exercise is what accelerates it. You know what I mean? And most of us don't have a perfect intake. So, when it comes to working out and training, you want to get as much as you can, burning calorie-wise, right? Energy-wise, you want to burn as much energy as you can. You're trying to get rid of that stored fat, right? So, train based on your goals. If it's weight loss, make sure the workout is coordinated based on what you're specifically trying to get done. And if you're trying to get your shoulders up, you're trying to get your arms up, make sure it's the same situation, you know what I mean? So train accordingly, all right? So I think that's key. I just had a couple other things when I had mentioned on the list before, or the last thing that I mentioned. Ooh, can't get my words out. I mentioned about variety training, and what I want to touch on is just, I said HIIT training, plyometrics, just a lot of functional training. You know what I mean? Functional training is key, because bodybuilding is good, in regards to creating muscles, and which should also help you with a healthy metabolism and burning calories after the fact. But we're trying to burn as much fat as we can today. If the situation you're out there and you're going to train, you want to sweat as much as you possibly can. All right, so again, just a list of things that I'm going through here, man. That's dear to my heart. Things that's worked for me. A lot of it is pretty general, but again, it's about application. So until you went out there and tried it, you really don't know what it is. All right, so Fitness for Longevity, Andrew checking in with you, man. Tell me what you like, man. Tell me if you have any question, please ask, and if you know anybody that can use this information, please share it, all right, and comment. All right, peace.